Football fans, welcome back to another episode of Lions Latest, the show where we gather around and talk about the greatest team in the NFL, the Detroit Lions. I'm your host, Bryan Hanes, and we have some updates on roster cuts and some other topics to get into, so let's jump straight into the video. Starting off, we are talking about the final roster cuts that were made by 4 p.m. today, Tuesday, August 26th. Which is when I'm recording this. So let's talk about them real quick. After a few days of difficult cuts for Coach Campbell, as he described it, the Lions have established their initial 50-man roster, so that leaves 3 spots left remaining for the 2025 season so far. Zadarius Smith, go get him. We save spots for a reason, and I guarantee you why we did. So while the roster will end up changing throughout the next 5 months, and they'll continue to add players on the 16-man practice squad, those are the players who are stood out enough to avoid getting cut. I'm sure right now this is going to be the base of what the team is. The process has seen some surprises here and there, though. Veteran offensive tackle Dan Skipper was among some of the more shocking releases. It was a bit unexpected to see wide receiver Jackson Meeks and defensive end Nate Lynn get cut as well, especially Meeks. I thought we were definitely going to sign him to the practice squad or have him do something, but we'll get into more of that later. Dan Skipper getting cut had me falling to my knees wherever I was when I saw that. But yeah, let's talk about it. So this one obviously shocked me, especially with Decker dealing with those shoulder problems too. Having him just cut from the team doesn't really make sense in my eyes, but I knew there was a reason. There are rumors, though, that he will be back for the practice squad. Cutting him now is just to make room for more additions, but I have a feeling after he clears waivers, he will be back on the squad. And then Jackson Meeks, kind of the same deal with him. He had a great preseason debut. I thought we were going to be able to maybe keep him again on the practice squad, or maybe as one of the backups instead of guys like Lovett. But he didn't make the initial cut, and I guarantee you, if he clears waivers, then he will be back on the practice squad as well. Those are the two for me. The one I'm not so sure about is Jacob Sailors. Oh, Jacob Sailors. Looked really good coming out of the UFL, had some really great reps in preseason games. Hopefully he gets on a practice squad somewhere else where he can really develop and show what he can do, because I do have faith in this guy, and I think he's going to go somewhere and be very productive on a practice team and then be able to come up and show someone what he can do if someone is to get injured. And then finally, Broderick Martin. Oh, Broderick Martin being gone. I saw this one coming. This one was unfortunate. Broderick Martin, unfortunately, just didn't do enough. He was here for a while, injured for a long time, didn't show us any big flashes that we had hoped to see in this preseason, so we unfortunately had to let go of him. But again, same deal. I hope he goes somewhere and ends up being great. I think he's got all the natural talent in the world to do it. I think he's built for the position, and I think he's got the determination. He just needs to not get injured and really show what he can do in a mode where he's hungry enough for it. So unfortunate for him, but again, I hope he goes somewhere and be great. So who's left? Who's it right now, right? So after all this stuff has gone down, these are the key names we have left. Jared Goff and Kyle Allen are our quarterbacks. Our running backs are Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, Craig Reynolds, and Sion Vaki. Hey, I like that he's still here. Our wide receiver room is Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jamison Williams, Tim Patrick, Kylie Raymond, Isaac Tesla, and Dominic Lovett. We ended up keeping Lovett. So he's probably going to be a good special teams guy for us. At tight end, we have Sam Laporta, Brock Wright, and Shane Zylstra. Saw that one coming. Offensive tackles, Penei Sewell, Taylor Decker, Giovanni Manu, and Jamarco Jones. In the interior offensive line, we have Graham Glasgow, Christian Mahogany, Tate Ratledge, Coyote Owasika, Kingsley Eguakun, and then on the reserve list is Mile Frazier. Defensive end, we have Aiden Hutchinson, Marcus Davenport, Al-Qadim Muhammad, Josh Pascal, and is on the reserve as well. And then defensive tackles, we have DJ Reader, Tyleek Williams, Roy Lopez, Pat O'Connor, Makai Wingo, and Chris Smith. Linebackers, Alex Anzalone, Jack Campbell, Derek Barnes, Grant Stewart, Trevor Nowaski, Zach Cunningham. Quarterback, we have Terrion Arnold, DJ Reed, Amik Robertson, Khalil Dorsey, Avante Maddox. Safety, we have Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph, and Rock Yassin. So cool to see he's still around. And then our specialists, of course, are Jack Fox, Jake Bates, and Hogan Hatton. So apologies for probably a couple mispronunciations there, but these are the guys that are going to be on the squad so far. I like what we got. I like the guys that we ended up keeping. There was, of course, Dan Skipper being up, but I think he's coming back. I like that we kept Avante Maddox. I like that we kept what's his name? Grant Stewart, Zach Cunningham. I like those guys. I think they can do a lot for us if we need them to. I think they got that next man up mentality. Who else do I like that we kept? I like that we kept Al Qadim Muhammad. I like that we kept where is he at? Jamarco Jones. I like Jamarco Jones. I like Giovanni Manu. Um, but I don't, it's again, I like that we kept these guys, and I like that we actually ended up keeping 6 receivers. Didn't see that one coming, but it's always good because the guys they kept, I was really hoping they did keep, and they ended up going with them. So the Tim Patrick trade I talked about last time, I don't know where that's going at this point, but I still think we should get some value out of him and free up some space for us in that position. But that's that. That's who we got going on right now. I think this kind of leads perfectly into our second topic with some moves to IR before the season starts. The big one I want to talk about first is Ahmed Hassanin, my guy. He got waived on an injury settlement. So this one bummed me out. If you don't know what that means, it's basically that in the NFL, being waived on an injury settlement means that a non-vested player, so less than 4 years of experience, is released from the team with an injury, goes through the waiver process, and if unclaimed, an injury settlement is reached with the team for compensation, making the player a free agent. This process allows for a player to receive compensation for their injury time without counting against the team's injured reserve list, and the player can sign with any other team. So we're basically letting him go, but compensating for his times because we drafted him. Dan Campbell said the good news is that the kid is that he's a grinder. He's going to do everything that it takes. You already know that he's going to do everything it takes to heal up, to rehab, to be back. He's going to stay in it mentally, learn what he can do, and process what he can. That's always going to give you a better chance to be better when you come back. Hassanin, since he's not vested that 4 years in the NFL, means because he's subject to the waivers, he's now available for any other team in the NFL, including the Lions still. So it's not necessarily a give up on him forever on the Lions, right? The team is it's just unlikely that he's going to get picked up because of this injury and him being out for a little bit, and the fact that he was a 6th round pick, right? If Hassanin does clear the waivers though, and he's a free agent, he can come back to the Lions after he's gotten over his injury and maybe get something else going. Who knows? I would like him back. I would like him as a depth piece. I would like to develop him on this team with Hutch as kind of the guy to learn from. I think that is honestly the best move for him right now. But things happen, injuries happen, and hopefully he ends up going to a team where he can develop, or he just comes back once he's better and stays in it. I see big things for this guy. It's really unfortunate that this is the way it had to happen. But Ahmed Hassanin, come back stronger, brother. And then placed on reserve, physically unable to perform list is offensive lineman Miles Frazier, which I'm glad we didn't get rid of him. I'm glad we kept him. Defensive lineman Eli McNeil, no duh. And the linebacker Malcolm Rodriguez. We're keeping Rodrigo. Heart of the team, baby. Keep him on the team. Wait till he gets healthier. He'll be a great depth piece, or that linebacker role. He makes some plays, so I like that we kept him. And then placed on reserve / non-football injuries, Josh Pascal from that video we talked about, the undisclosed injury. He's going to be out for a little bit longer, but we are holding on to him because of the position being a little, light in depth. So that's that. That's what we got on those two subjects. I wanted to leave those split because of the huge splash with Hassanin being gone and some of these other guys. We are keeping that. It's a good surprise, but that's what we got right now. Let's move on to our third topic. On a little lighter news, we're talking about a new player being abducted into the Pride of Lions. So Saturday, the Detroit Lions announced that they will be adding Robert Porcher, the franchise's all-time leader in sacks, to the Pride of Lions wall of honor. Sorry about that. At Ford Field, he will be added to the wall at the halftime ceremony during the Lions' home opening game against the Chicago Bears on September 14th. He played all 13 seasons of his NFL career in Detroit and amassed 95.5 career sacks. He will also become the 22nd player inducted and the 9th defensive player inducted. Before him, the Hall of Fame Hall of Fame wide receiver Calvin Johnson, Megatron, was inducted in 2024, and Lomas Brown was inducted in 23. And then obviously we know these two guys if you're a Lions fan. Calvin Johnson holds the NFL record for most receiving yards in a single season with 1,964 yards in 2012. He set a record by surpassing Jerry Rice. He also holds numerous records in Detroit for, career receptions, receiving yards. It was named to the NFL's all-decade team in the 2010s. Lomas Brown, you know him, he blocked for Barry Sanders, but he also was able to win the Jacobs Blocking Trophy and a 1991 playoff appearance defense with the Detroit Lions, and Barry Sanders. So joining good company. Very cool to have him in the Hall of Fame. And if you're going to be the sack leader on a team, I think you should absolutely be in there. But watch out, because as we're inducting you, we are at least releasing Aiden Hutchinson back into the wild now. So that record might not stand too much longer as long as he's healthy and playing after what we saw last year. Just thought that was kind of cool tidbit. If you care, here, there you go. Be excited. Go to the game on September 14th. Go watch him get inducted. Should be a cool moment, and it is cool that they're doing it on the home opener. It was cool to see Calvin Johnson get inducted against the Seahawks last year, where Jared Goff caught a touchdown pass and J-Mo broke free for that huge receiving touchdown. So very cool. Hopefully some more cool stuff happens at that game like it happened in the last inducting game. But just wanted to touch on that because I thought it was kind of sweet. And then we're going to move on to our last topic today, where we are talking about viewer comments. You guys had some good ones. I'm going to start off with 21. Nick's on me 6 says, I think Laporta is an excellent replacement for TJ Hawkinson. But it just seems like Campbell didn't really like or want any of Patricia/Quinn's picks on the team. I see the Vikings ended up with TJ and Jeff Okudah. Yeah, no, I think that honestly, and I like that. This one spoke to me. I think that was intentional, obviously. I think Dan Campbell was trying to kind of sweep all the dust away from the old team and bring in a bunch of fresh players. Because we were trying to change the culture, remember? And I think that was part of it, was getting rid of former players, whether they were good or not. Hawk was a great player. I think Jeff Okudah is a good player, right? But it was a big part of making a big change and clearing a fresh slate so everyone got to move forward as a team. And I think it was a good move. I think it was honestly a good move. I think you think it's a good move because you obviously said it. Or maybe you don't think it's a good move. Let me know what you think. But I think this was a good move, and I think overall it's going to work out for us because it kind of set the new tone for this team. And then next and finally, Detroit Lions fan since '95 says, I'm under the thought that we would go out and get a good backup center in case Graham gets hurt again. Got to be a good backup center that can be a starter for like a 6th round pick. So I looked for this, and I think a good one right here and an affordable one would be Cole Strange. I actually went into this a little bit. So Cole Strange is a former 1st round pick from 2022. Strange has had kind of an injury riddled up and down career so far, making him not so, what's the word, valuable. And while he's primarily a guard, kind of like Glasgow is, the Patriots have tried him at center, and he's performed at an okay pace. He was released during the 2025 preseason. However, because he could be traded if he was claimed off waivers. His strengths, honestly, for him, after I've looked at some of what he can do, is he possesses crazy athleticism. The potential upside due to his draft pedigree, a change of scenery might be what he honestly needs to tap into these skills that he clearly has. And if he's under a team like us, which would kind of be an ideal fit for a player like him, strong O-line. Older vets, younger players as well, but a very strong O-line and a history of being strong could really rehabilitate a career that just kind of needs a jump start right now. And I think having him for depth at multiple interior positions on the line could just be a great signing overall. You know, like the thing suggests, maybe we give up a 6th. Maybe we just try to get some draft trade with him with, I don't know, maybe another pick. We give him something easier. I'm not sure, but I think this would honestly be a great grab for us, especially with the position we're in right now. Graham Glasgow going down almost gave me a heart attack. So I honestly wouldn't mind having another backup who kind of does what he does. just saying. But that's to kind of answer your comment there, Detroit's Lion fan since '95. I think you have a really great point there about making trades right now after my last video talking about Tim Patrick. And I think this guy kind of would fit the mold pretty well. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys think that there is a better role here to fit this kind of slot we're missing. But that is all the time we have here for today. Thank you guys so much for watching Lions Latest. If you made it to this point of the video right now when I'm talking right now, let me know what you guys think about Cole Strange. Yay, nay. Let me know what you think. Who would be better instead? Also, let me know what you guys think about who was cut and who's been moved to injury reserve. Let me know what you think about Ahmed Hassanin. Does that break your hearts? Because it kind of made me sad, but Dan has a plan, so I'm just going to see what he does. Thank you guys so much. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell so you never miss a single video here. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video.